In Part 13 of Fire Emblem Engage, we escape from the cathedral and are fleeing from the Four Hounds in Vale. Now, before the battle starts, I kind of panic, since we now have a bunch of missing emblem rings, and we are missing out on a bunch of the skills and weapons that come with the emblems, but also they come with some good stats. And the difference that 2 speed can make is surprising. So I'd try and equip whatever extra bond rings I had from when I was trying to get the S rank ones for the special skills for some of my mages, and just hope that that's good enough. So we start the map, and there is a massive forest in front of us that is filled with corrupted, and behind us is Vale and the Four Hounds, each of which have an emblem ring, as well as 2 worms who do 1 to 3 range attacks that ignore defense and resistance. So our strategy of just throwing Louis at the problem is completely out the window. Also, some of our enemies, the random corrupted, get emblem rings. Now, if you get a corrupted with an emblem ring, instead of taking it yourself or whatever, it just moves to another unit. Now, all we have to do is get to the end of the map without people dying, but that's easier said than done. We push forward as fast as possible, but this requires us to put some of our mages and healers into enemy range, but it's either put them in the range of the random corrupted, or leave them back and risk them being sniped by a worm or attacked by the Four Hounds. So, luckily we have Louis and some of the Cavaliers who, thanks to not Louis' high movement, but the Cavaliers' high movement, Louis' general bulk, they're able to provoke and kill most of the biggest threats. Once we get most of the way through the map, like 2/3, we get approached by Ivy and her retainers who decide to join our side since their dad is dead and bad things are happening. So let's talk about the new units. First we have Ivy, who is a dragon-riding mage who can also use staves and has solid bases, decent growths. She isn't crazy as a damage unit, but the utility of a flyer who can poke at 3 range as well as use fancy staves like Obstruct is potentially unmatched. Unfortunately, to make her that super useful unit, you need to think. I'm bad at that, so right now she's just a high move mage for me. Next we have Zelkov. He is a thief with the usual high skill and speed, but also a really good base strength, which helps offset the knive's low base damage. Finally, we have Kagetsu, who is widely considered one of the best units in the entire game. He's a sword master with stupidly high strength, skill, and speed, as well as a passive that makes sure that he hits his attacks. So back to the map. Ivy goes and hands us Emblem Lucina, and she comes with Emblem Lyn. Now, Emblem Lyn is very useful since, at this point, the hounds have started moving and they are fast approaching us. And Lyn's doubles that she can use take priority, and so the enemies will attack the doubles before us, giving us enough time to kill the last enemies that were preventing our escape route. So now we are safe, and we decide that now is the perfect time, that we're at least a couple feet away from the bad guys, to give a whole motivational speech about carrying on, even without all of our emblem rings and the bad guy being at full power. We can do this. We chose to hold our heads high and travel on to Solemn to get the last emblem rings and maybe some more allies.